Hey guys, so this is for it's actually unit 7. I don't know why it says unit 5, but unit 7 systems of equation study guide. So let's get started. So number 1, let me get my pen working here. So if we want to know what the solution is, all we're looking for is where these two lines intersect. So this coordinate right here would be -4, -1, -4, -1. I don't know why my pen makes that mark. Just ignore it. It's a -4, -1. All right, hopefully that's the end of that. Number 2, solve by substitution. So the first equation tells us that y is equal to -2. So we're going to plug that in for y in the second equation. So -x minus 3 times y, and y is -2x, is equal to -20. So now we're going to distribute that -3. So -3 times -2x is positive 6x. And now actually we can combine these two like terms. So -1x plus 6x is 5x is equal to -20. I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and x is equal to -4. So to get y, I'm going to plug in -4 for x. I can do that in the first equation. So y is equal to -2 times -4. -2 times -4 is 8. So my solution is the ordered pair -4, 8 for number 2. Number 3, it says to use elimination. So my x's have the same coefficient, so I want one of them to equal +4. So I'm going to multiply. It doesn't matter which one you do. I'm going to multiply the first equation by -1. I'm going to leave the second equation like it is. I'm going to bring down the first equation. So -1 times -4 is 4x. 2y times -1 is -2y. And -1 times -16 is +16. So my x's cancel. -6y combined with -2y is -8y equals 16. When I divide both sides by -8, I get y equals -2. And then I'm going to plug this into one of the equations. I'll just take the first one. So the top equation is -4x plus, so 2 times -2. 2 times -2 is -4 equals -16. I want to get rid of -4. The only way to get rid of -4 is to add 4. So now that goes away. I have -16 plus 4 is -12. When I divide both sides by -4, I get x equals 3. So my ordered pair is 3, -2 for number 3. Number 4, I'm going to solve by graphing. So I am going to write both of these in slope-intercept form. So for the first one, let me just rewrite it real quick. I'm going to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have -2y is equal to -1x minus 8. Divide everything by -2. So all of my negatives cancel. So this is going to be a negative divided by negative is +1/2 x. -8 divided by -2 is +4. So there's our first equation. Our second equation, I'm going to write it over here. I want to solve for y, so I'm going to get rid of 3x. So I have 4y equals -3x minus 4. I'm going to divide everything by 4. So y is equal to -3 over 4x, and -4 divided by 4 is -1. All right, so let me graph this one first. So I'm going to start with my y-intercept of 4. I have a positive slope, so I'm going to go up 1, right 2. I'm out of space, so I'm going to do just the opposite. I'm going to go down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2, and then try to make a straight line. All right. And then my second line, we'll make it in green. I'm going to start down here at -1. Now my slope is negative. So I'm going to go down 3, right 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. To make sure it intersects, I'm going to do just the opposite. I'll go up 3, left 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And sure enough, they are going, to cross right there. All right, so what is this coordinate? It would be negative 4, 2. Negative 4, 2. That's where they intersect. All righty, moving on. Number 5. Solve the following system of equations. I would use elimination the way it's written. So my x's have not the same coefficient, but 8 is a factor of 16. So I want this one to equal positive 16, which means I'm going to multiply everything in the bottom equation by negative 2. So I'm going to rewrite the first one. When I distribute a negative 2 times negative 8 is positive 16. Negative 2 times 8y is negative 16. And negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. So what happens on the left side? Well, my x's cancel, and so do my y's. So I end up with 0 on the left side, but I don't end up with 0 over here. I end up with negative 4. So since this is not true, that means there is no solution. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. There's no solution. In other words, these are going to be parallel lines. There's no solution because that statement's not true. All right, number 6, the question is 1, 4 a solution to this system? Explain how we know. Well, basically what we need to do is take both equations, plug in our ordered pair, and make sure it works for both of them. All right, if x is 1, 5 times 1, and if I plug in 4 right there for y, does 4 equal 5 times 1 minus 4? Well, yes, it does. 4 is equal to 4, so I got 1 check mark. And then over here for 3x plus 2 is 4, the y value equal to 3 times 1 plus 2. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. That's not true. So the answer is no, because, explain my reasoning, I would say because this solution does not make both equations true. That's what I would type on a test if it asked me to explain my reasoning. The solution 1, 4 does not make the second equation true. All right, let's look at this. Number 7, consider the system of equations. Solve using any method. So since my x's have opposite coefficients, I'm going to use elimination. So my x's are actually gone. So negative 3y combined with 2y is negative 1y. Negative 3 combined with positive 9 is 6. So when I divide both sides by negative 1, y equals negative 6. And now to get my x value, I don't know why I put that big space, but it's okay. So if I have 7x minus 3 times y, which is negative 6, equals negative 3. Let's see what we get. Negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. When I subtract 18 from both sides, I get 7x equals negative 21. And when I divide by 7, I see that x equals negative 3. So my solution is negative 3, negative 6. And describe how you can prove. Well, how could I prove? I could take, how I would prove it is I take my 2 original equations and I would plug in the solution, right? So I would plug in negative 3 for x and negative 6 for y. Well, negative 21 plus 18 is in fact negative 3. I would prove that negative 3 is equal to negative 3. And then I'd do the same thing with the second equation. I would take my second original equation, negative 7x plus 2y equals 9. I would plug in my solution and make sure that I got a second correct statement. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to do that, but if you have to show your work and explain on a test, you would plug in the solution to the equations. Number 8, we are graphing again. So the first one's in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to graph -2. And then my slope is 1, 2. So I'm going to go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, so on and so forth. And then my second one, I got to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have 2y equals -1x minus 8. I'm going to divide everything by 2. So I end up with -1/2 x minus 4. So let me go ahead and make this. When you're trying to make sure you have a solution, you know, you may want to do several points, because if you don't make your line long enough, they might look like they never intersect. But if they're not parallel, they are going to eventually intersect. All right, so then my second equation, I'm going to graph -4. I got a negative slope. I'm going to go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. Obviously, my line's going to intersect up here. So if I go up 1, left 2, I'm going to see the intersection over here. And what is this intersection right here? It's -2, -3. That's the solution, -2, -3. Okay. All right, number 9, correct the error. So let's see what they did wrong. So it looks like they combined their x's and said 5x. And then it looks like they showed that the y's cancel. But the y's don't cancel. So when they made the y's cancel, they ended up getting x equals 2. And then when they substituted 2 into one of the equations, they ended up getting y. This solution is not correct because the x's actually don't cancel. -y combined with -y is -2y. So it says explain what is the error. The error is the y's did not cancel originally. And then if to explain how to solve the problem, I'm going to just actually solve it. There's no better way to explain it than to show my work, right? So I'm going to multiply the second equation by -1 so that my y values will cancel. So I'm going to rewrite the first one. I'm going to distribute a -1. And now I have x is equal to 6. When I plug in 6 for x into the second equation, I'm going to multiply 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12 minus y equals 2. Wish I could write well. When I subtract 12 from both sides, I get -y equals -10. So that means positive y would equal positive 10. So my solution is 610. 610. All righty. All right, solve the following equations. So on the first one, I would use substitution because one of them solved for y. They're both solved for y. So I'm just going to distribute by substituting. So I'm going to bring down the, actually, you know what? I'm going to, since they're both equal to y, I'm going to actually set them equal to each other, which is the same thing as substituting, really, since they're both equal to y. All right, I'm going to cancel out the smallest x. I'm going to get rid of -5x by adding 5x to both sides. So I have 8x plus 14 equals -2. I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. So then I have 8x equals -16. When I divide by 8, I get x equals -2. And then when I plug in -2, 3 times -2, 3 times -2 is -6. So I plugged in -2 right here. So -6 plus 14 is 8. Y equals 8. So my solution is -2, 8. Number 11, since the second one is solved for y, I'm going to substitute this for y. So I'm going to bring down -7x plus 5 times y, and y is 6x minus 13. I'm going to distribute the 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 13 5 times negative 13 is minus 65. 7x plus 30x is 23x minus 65. I'm going to add 65 to both sides. So I have 23x equals 69. And when I divide both sides by 23, I get x equals 3. And then I'm going to substitute 3 for x right there. So y equals 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 13 is 5. So my solution is 3, 5 for number 11. All right, number 12, once again, it's solved for y. The first one is, so I'm going to substitute for y in the second one. So I'm going to bring down negative 21x plus 3 times 7x plus 5 is equal to negative 5. So negative 21x plus 21x plus 15 equals negative 5. Well, 21x minus combined with positive 21x is 0. So I end up with 15 is equal to negative 5. Well, that's not true. That is not true, which means there is no solution. My statement is not true, so therefore I have no solution. Which system of equations has the intersection point at 2, 3? Well, that means I'm going to plug in 2 for x and 3 for y and see which one gives me a true statement. So letter A, I'm going to multiply 2 times 2, and y is 3 equals 7. Well, 4 plus 3 equals 7. That is true. All right, the second one says 2 minus 3x minus y equals 4. Well, 2 minus 3 does not equal 4. It's negative 1. So A is not the right answer. Even though it worked for the first one, it doesn't work for the second one. All right, letter B, we're going to multiply 3 times x, and x is 2, plus 2 times 3 equals 4. Equals 12. All right, so it's 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. All right, so that one's true. 12 does equal 12. And then the second one, 3 times 2 plus y is 3 equals 9. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 3 equals 9. That's true. I have 2 guesses, so B must be the right answer. If I plug in, well, just looking quickly at the second one, if I plug in 2 minus 3, 2 minus 3 is not negative 3, it's negative 1. So I can see why C is not going to work either. All right, the next question, Samantha has 2 different tutoring rates. Rate A is a flat rate of $15 plus $9 an hour. Rate B is $12 an hour. What is the least number of hours she must tutor to make more money using rate B? All right, so the equations are Samantha has rate A. So rate A is going to be her cost is equal to $9 per hour plus 15. So let's go ahead and say that X is going to be the number of hours, and Y is going to be the cost. And then rate B, the cost is found by multiplying 12 times X. All right, so we want to see when she will make more money using rate B. So for 1 hour, she's going to make more money using rate A because 9 plus 15 is 24. All right, so let's see when she'll make the same amount. So we want these to equal each other. So 9x plus 15 is equal to 12x. So when would they make the same amount? How many hours would make them have the same amount of money? Well, that would be 15 equals 3x, divide both sides by 3. And I find out that at 5 hours, they would make the same, it would be the same rate. So 12 times 5 is 60. 5 times 9 is 45 plus 15 is 60. So at 5 hours, they would both the rates would give her $60, which makes me think that 1 more hour would probably make B have the advantage. So let's see, what if it was 6 hours? So at 6 hours, if X is 6, let's do 9 times 6 plus 15 and 12 times 6. So this is $72 for plan B. And for plan A, we have 9 times 6 is 54. 54 plus $15 is 69. So this is the first time she would make more money with plan B at 6 hours. The least amount of hours would be 6 hours. Because 5 hours, they would make the same cost. Both of them would give the same amount of money. Okay. All righty. What about the second one? A jar contains only quarters and nickels. The total number of coins is 18. And the total value is 330. So the equations are, well, if there's 18 coins, those coins are made up of both quarters and nickels. So the coins equal 18, right? That's the first equation. And then we got to talk about the value. Well, how much does 1 quarter equal? 1 quarter is 25 cents. So if we have 5 quarters, we would multiply 25 cents times 5 to figure out how much money we have. Nickels are 5 cents per nickel. In this situation, we got a total of $3.30. So in this part of this kind of problem, you have to use the value of each coin as part of your equation. All right, well, I don't like these decimals. So I know if I multiply 25 cents times 4 quarters, that would give me 1. So this is basically 1Q plus 1N, right? Those are ones, they're not squiggly marks. So if I want to get rid of 1Q, I want this to equal negative 1Q. Well, if I multiply negative 4 times 0.25, that equals negative 1. So I'm going to bring down my first equation. Q plus N equals 18. Negative 4 times 0.25 is negative 1Q. This one's positive 1. 5 cents times negative 4 is negative 20 cents times N. This is 1 whole, 1.00. And $3.30 times negative 4 is negative 13.20. Now, why did I multiply by negative 4? To make my Q's disappear. Okay, so 1Q minus 1Q is nothing. 1 minus 0.20 is 0.80. And 18 minus 13.2 is 4.8. So then to solve for N, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.8. So 4.8 divided by 0.8 is 6 nickels. All right, so if I had 6 nickels and 18 coins, that means I had to have 12 quarters. 12 quarters and 6 nickels. That makes 18 coins. All righty. All right, the next one, Billy and Sam started with the same number of baseball cards in their collection. We don't know how many they started with. Billy collected 4 cards per week and now has 30. Sam collected 9 cards per week and now has 55. Let X represent the number they started with and Y represent the number of weeks. So Billy started with an unknown number. So he started with X amount of cards, plus he collected 4 times the number of weeks for a grand total of 30 cards. Sam started with an unknown number, plus he collected 9 cards per week for a grand total of 55 cards. And that's our system. So to solve it, I would get rid of my X's by multiplying by negative 1. I would do that over here. It says solve your system over here. So I would bring down my original second one. I'm just going to rewrite it. X plus 9Y equals 55. Then the top one, I'm going to distribute the negative 1. So my x's cancel. I have 5y equals 25. And when I divide by 5, I find out that y equals 5. And then I would plug 5 into one of these. I'll just do the top one. So I have x plus 4 times 5 is 20. I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. So x equals 10. So x is the number of cards they both started with. And after 5 weeks, that's when they have these number of cards each after 5 weeks. All righty. All right, guys, we're almost done. 2 more. All right, so number 6, we have 2 small boxes and 5. So we're going to let x equal the small boxes and y equal large boxes. So the first one, we have 2 small boxes plus 5 large boxes equals 31. And then Janie sold 4 small boxes plus 7 large boxes equals 47. I would eliminate by multiplying everything in the top by -2. So I have -4x minus 10y equals -62. So the x's cancel. I'd have -3y equals -15. -15. And when I divide by -3, y equals 5. $5. And just for the sake of time, when I plugged in 5 for y, I found out that my top one is 3. So 3 for small boxes and 5 for large. All right, and then the last one, we have shirts and jeans. So let's do x equals shirts. Let's do y equals jeans. So we have 4 shirts plus 3 jeans equals 102. And then we have 8 shirts plus 4 jeans equal 168. We can eliminate our x's by multiplying by -2. So I'm going to bring this below this. So I have -8x minus 6y equals -204. So I have -2y equals -36. And when I divide by -2, y would equal $18. And then I don't know how much the shirts are. I don't remember. That's an 18. All right, so we have 4x plus 18 times 3 is 54. So we subtract 54 from both sides. So we have 4x equals 102 minus 54 is 48. So that means that each shirt is $12. Shirts are 12 and jeans are 18. Ooh, that was a lot of work, you guys. Okay, well, I hope you guys did well. And I will see you later in the week for your test. I'll see you guys later.